1. You go to bed with cloudy water, you wake up and the pool is clear. Not improving, not on its way to clearing. Clear, blue to the bottom, ready to swim in before breakfast. That is not a fantasy. It is what happens when two specific grocery store and hardware store products are combined in the correct dose, added in the correct sequence at the correct time of day to pool water where the pH has been set correctly first. The blend is not a specialty compound, it is not a professional-grade chemical unavailable to residential owners. It is plain, unscented bleach from the cleaning aisle and muriatic acid from the hardware store, combined total cost, under $15. Available right now without a pool store visit. The reason this blend works overnight when the pool store method takes 4 to 7 days is not the products. It is 3 variables the pool store method almost never gets right simultaneously. pH corrected before chlorine goes in. Crisis level dose rather than maintenance dose applied to a crisis situation, and timing dusk rather than midday, so UV does not destroy half the dose before it finishes working. When get all 3 right, and the chemistry works at its maximum possible speed. The cloudy pool is clear by morning, but before you add anything, there is one number that determines whether overnight is realistic for your specific pool or whether a preliminary correction is needed first. Skip this check, and the blend works at a fraction of its potential. Why the pool store method takes 4 to 7 days, and why it does not have to. The pool store cloudy water treatment is built around 3 consistent errors that together slow results from overnight to a week. 1 error 1. Maintenance dose applied to a crisis situation. Pool store shock bags are calibrated for weekly maintenance in a pool in normal operating condition. A pool that has gone cloudy has an organic load and biological demand that exceeds normal operating conditions. A maintenance dose applied to that load gets consumed without fully clearing the problem. The result is partial improvement followed by stalling. The water looks marginally better but does not clear. The owner adds another bag. Same partial result. Day 3, day 4. 1. Eventually enough product accumulates to overwhelm the load, but the process takes days instead of hours. Error 2. Wrong timing. Pool store visits happen when the owner notices the problem, often during the day. Shock added at 2 p.m. on a Saturday in August loses 50 to 90% of its dose to UV destruction before it can circulate and finish working. The owner adds what appears to be a full treatment and gets a fraction of the result. More product purchased, same daytime addition, same UV loss. The cycle continues. Error 3, pH not corrected before chlorine is added. 1 cloudy pool water frequently has elevated pH from days of aeration without correction. At pH 8, chlorine loses roughly 75% of its sanitizing power. A full shock dose added to water at pH 8.0 is delivering approximately 25% of its labeled effectiveness. The remaining 75% is present in the water as hypochlorite ion, the inactive form, rather than hypochlorous acid, the form that actually oxidizes organic compounds and clears the water. Fix pH first, and the same dose works at 4 times the effectiveness. The homemade blend corrects all 3 errors simultaneously. 1 muriatic acid sets pH to the range where chlorine operates at maximum effectiveness before bleach goes in. Bleach at crisis level dose delivers enough active chlorine to overwhelm the organic load that is clouding the water, and dusk timing means the full dose works through the night without UV destruction. All 3 variables correct at once. Overnight result. The blend. 2 ingredients, 1 method, 1 overnight. Ingredient, 1 muriatic acid. Hardware store. Approximately $10 per gallon. This is the pH correction agent that sets the water chemistry before the chlorine goes in. 1. The pool store sells dry acid, sodium bisulfate for pH reduction at $18 to $25 for a smaller quantity. Muriatic acid does the same job faster and more powerfully for less money. 1 gallon handles multiple pH corrections and lasts most of a season stored safely. Ingredient 2. Plain, unscented liquid bleach. Grocery store. $3 to $5 per large jug. Sodium hypochlorite at 6 to 8.25% concentration. 1. The same active compound as liquid pool chlorine at 10 to 12.5% in a lower concentration that requires proportionally more volume but costs significantly less per unit of active chlorine. For a cloudy pool overnight treatment, the volume required is large enough that the cost difference between grocery store bleach and pool store liquid chlorine is meaningful, typically $15 to $25 in bleach versus $35 to $60 in pool store liquid chlorine for the same pool size and dose. The label requirement for bleach is absolute and non-negotiable, plain and unscented only. 1 sodium hypochlorite listed as the only active ingredient. No splash guard formula, no scented variety, no outdoor bleach with surfactants, no thickened or gel formulations. Read the back label on every jug before purchase. Any additive beyond sodium hypochlorite and water creates foam, residue, or chemistry interference in pool water. That is the blend. Muriatic acid and plain unscented bleach. 2 products, both available without a pool store visit. The chemistry is not secret. The sequence and timing are what make it work overnight. The one number to check before adding either ingredient. 1 cyanuric acid. Test it with a drop test kit before calculating any dose. This check is non-negotiable because CYA determines your chlorine target level for the overnight treatment. And getting the target wrong means the blend is either underdosed and stalls partway through or overdosed unnecessarily. Here is the relationship. CYA protects chlorine from UV destruction at correct levels. It also requires higher free chlorine concentrations to achieve the same sanitizing power as levels increase. At 30 ppm CYA, a treatment target of 12 ppm free chlorine clears most cloudy pools overnight. 1 at 40 ppm CYA. The target is 16 ppm. At 50 ppm CYA, it is 20 ppm. These targets are calculated to reach the concentration at which chlorine overwhelms the organic and biological load, causing the cloudiness faster than that load can consume the chlorine. The condition that produces an overnight result rather than a stalled partial improvement. If CYA is above 70 ppm, the overnight result is not realistic without first addressing CYA. 1 above that level, the chlorine target needed to clear the pool requires a dose so large that it becomes difficult to sustain overnight and the blend loses its speed advantage. Drain 25 to 30% of the pool, refill with fresh water, retest CYA after 48 hours. Confirm it is below 65 ppm before proceeding. The extra day or two spent on dilution is recovered immediately when the overnight blend works at full speed on the first attempt rather than stalling repeatedly. If CYA tests between 30 and 50 ppm, proceed directly to the step-by-step method below. 1. The overnight result is achievable on the first treatment for most cloudy pool situations. The exact step-by-step method, every step in sequence, no step skipped. Step 1. Remove visible surface debris. A 5-minute pass with a leaf net removes floating organic material that would otherwise consume a portion of the chlorine dose during the overnight treatment. Do not vacuum yet. Cloudy water and a pool floor covered in settled debris will clog a standard vacuum immediately. Skim the surface only. Step 2. Clean the filter before starting. 1A. Clean filter handling the overnight treatment clears water faster than a dirty one. The oxidized organic particles that the bleach produces need to go somewhere. They go to the filter. A filter already running at high pressure from accumulated debris captures less of what the treatment produces. Backwash a sand filter. Hose a cartridge filter thoroughly. Add fresh DE to a DE filter after backwashing. Plan to clean again mid-treatment around the 8 to 12 hour mark if the pool is significantly cloudy. Step 3. Test all 4 baseline numbers. 1 free chlorine, pH, total alkalinity, and CYA confirmed from the pre-check above. Write them all down. Every dose decision in the steps that follow depends on accurate readings. Step 4. Correct total alkalinity if below 80 ppm. Grocery store baking soda at $1 per pound. For a 10,000-gallon pool, 1.5 pounds raises alkalinity by 10 ppm. Add in 2 stages with a 4-hour retest between. Alkalinity provides the buffer that holds pH stable through the overnight treatment. Without adequate alkalinity, the pH correction made in Step 5 drifts back before the bleach finishes working. 1. Get alkalinity stable before touching pH. Step 5. Add muriatic acid to bring pH to 7.2. This is the step that makes overnight possible and the step most owners skip because they reach for the bleach first. Dilute muriatic acid in a bucket of pool water before adding acid to water, never water to acid. Pour slowly at the deep end with the pump running eye protection and closed shoes. Add in stages with 30 minutes between each addition. Retest before adding more. One target is 7.2, slightly lower than normal maintenance range because lower pH means chlorine operates at even higher effectiveness during the treatment. Do not overshoot below 7.0. For a pool sitting at pH 8.0, approximately 16 to 24 ounces of muriatic acid per 10,000 gallons brings pH to the 7.2 target. Add half the estimated dose first, run the pump 30 minutes, retest, add the remainder if still needed. Step 6. Calculate your bleach dose. Based on your CYA level from the pre-check, CYA at 30 ppm needs a treatment target of 12 ppm free chlorine. CYA at 40 ppm needs 16 ppm. 1 CYA at 50 ppm needs 20 ppm. To calculate the bleach volume needed for a 10,000-gallon pool using 6% bleach, multiply the target ppm by 21 ounces. For a 12 ppm target, 252 ounces, approximately 2 gallons. For 16 ppm, 336 ounces, approximately 2.6 gallons. For 20 ppm, 420 ounces, approximately 3.3 gallons. Scale linearly for your pool size. Step 7. Add the bleach at dusk. The single most important timing decision in the entire method. Not in the afternoon when you decide to act. Not in the morning if you just discovered the problem. 1 at dusk, when the sun has left the water and UV cannot destroy the dose before it circulates. Walk the perimeter of the pool and distribute the bleach evenly. Do not pour it all in one location. Avoid pouring directly in front of skimmer openings. Run the pump continuously from this point through the night, not on a timer, continuously. Step 8. Brush the pool immediately after adding the bleach. Walls, floor, steps, corners, behind the ladder, every surface. One brushing breaks up any biological material on pool surfaces and sends particles into the water column where the elevated chlorine concentration can reach them. An unbrushed overnight treatment takes measurably longer than a brushed one. 5 minutes of brushing immediately after the bleach addition is one of the highest return actions in the entire method. Step 9. Test free chlorine at dawn. If it has held near your treatment target, the pool should be visibly clear or nearly clear by morning. 1. If it has dropped significantly below target overnight, the organic load was heavier than one dose handled. Brush again and add another bleach dose that morning, running the pump through the day, then test again at dusk before the second evening addition if needed. Most cloudy pools respond to the first overnight treatment. Heavily neglected pools may require a second now before the completion criteria and maintenance system. If you want every dose for every pool size in one printable reference, the Pool Carter Playbook, from green to crystal clear. 139 pages covering the complete grocery store method with exact doses for every pool size. The full SLAM process for green and cloudy pools, seasonal guides through closing, and the 5 numbers that run your pool all summer. Normally $67, right now just $29.99. 7-day money-back guarantee. Instant PDF download. Link is below this video. The 3 mistakes that turn an overnight result into a 3-day stall. Mistake 1. Adding bleach before correcting pH. 1. This is the error that makes the blend appear not to work and drives owners back to the pool store convinced that bleach is inferior to specialty shock products. Bleach added to water at pH 8 unders a chemical environment where roughly 75% of it immediately converts to the inactive hypochlorite form. The 25% that remains active gets consumed by the organic load causing the cloudiness. By morning, minimal improvement. Second bleach addition, same result. The bleach is not the problem. The pH is the problem. Muriatic acid first, bleach second, in that order every time. 1 mistake 2. Treating a filtration problem with chemistry. The blend clears suspended particles by oxidizing the organic compounds causing cloudiness and sending the oxidized particles to the filter. If the filter is too dirty to process what the treatment sends it, those particles stay suspended in the water. The chemistry works. The filter cannot capture the result. Water stays hazy despite correct chemistry. Check filter pressure before adding any chemical to a cloudy pool. Clean the filter if pressure is elevated, then apply the blend. 1A clean filter and correct chemistry together, clear water overnight. Chemistry alone against a clogged filter clears nothing regardless of dose or timing. Mistake 3. Testing at midnight and concluding the treatment failed. The blend works through the night. The meaningful test is at dawn after 8 or more hours of continuous pump operation with the full dose in the water. A midnight test showing lower than expected chlorine does not mean the treatment is failing. It means the organic load is actively being consumed by the elevated chlorine, which is exactly what is supposed to happen. 1. Judge the overnight result at dawn. If chlorine is holding near the treatment target at dawn, the pool should be visibly clear. If it dropped near zero at dawn, the load was heavy and a second evening treatment handles the remainder. The completion check when the pool is safe to swim in again. Never call the overnight treatment complete based on how the water looks alone. Clear-looking water can still have elevated combined chlorine from the oxidation process that makes it uncomfortable or potentially unsafe to swim in before the chemistry has fully normalized. 3 criteria must all be met before resuming swimming. Free chlorine holding at or near the treatment target overnight without dropping near zero. This confirms the organic load has been eliminated and the pool is no longer consuming chlorine rapidly. Combined chlorine at 0.5 ppm or less. This confirms the chloramine load from the oxidized organic compounds has been eliminated or is acceptably low. Water visually clear with the main drain visible from the surface. This is the visual confirmation that the filtration has captured the oxidized particles and the water is genuinely clean rather than hazy with suspended material. When all 3 are met simultaneously, the treatment is complete. Let free chlorine drop naturally from the elevated treatment level to the normal maintenance range of 2 to 4 ppm over 1 to 2 days before resuming regular swimming. Do not add acid to drop chlorine faster. Let it normalize on its own through UV and normal consumption. 1. The prevention system that makes overnight treatments unnecessary going forward. The overnight blend clears the cloudy pool you have right now. The system below prevents the conditions that produced it from forming again. The borate buffer established with borax from the laundry aisle, 20 pounds per 10,000 gallons at the start of the season, holds pH in the effective chlorine range through the afternoon aeration, and swimmer load that pushes it upward daily. pH that holds means chlorine that works consistently. 1 chlorine that works consistently means organic compounds oxidized as they enter rather than accumulating into the cloudiness that requires an overnight treatment to clear. The daily 2-minute morning test catches any drift before it accumulates. Free chlorine below 2 ppm on Wednesday morning means a bleach addition Wednesday evening. The same drift caught Saturday morning after 4 uncorrected days means cloudy water requiring an overnight treatment. The morning test converts 4-day accumulations into 20-second corrections. 1 correct pump run time, 8 to 12 hours daily in summer, keeps water moving through the filter continuously. Suspended particles captured by a running filter stay out of the water. Particles settling in a pool with 4 hours of daily circulation contribute to the cloudiness that the overnight blend treats. Weekly 3-minute brush of corners, steps, and wall niches removes biological material from the surfaces where it accumulates and sends it into the water column where routine chlorine eliminates it before it becomes visible. 1. These 4 habits: borate buffer, daily morning test, correct pump run time, weekly brush, eliminate the conditions that produce cloudy water. The overnight blend clears the current situation. The 4 habits mean the blend is not needed again. The cost that most owners never calculate what cloudy water actually costs per event. Most pool owners think of a cloudy water event as an inconvenience rather than a financial loss. It is both. Run the full cost of a single cloudy water event through the pool store approach and the number changes how you think about prevention. 1 pool store visit for a cloudy water event. Clarifier $18, Specialty Shock $15 for 2 bags, Algaecide for insurance $22, pH correction product if the counterperson flagged it $15. Total product cost $70. Time cost, drive to pool store and back 30 to 45 minutes. Days of unusable pool during clearing 3 to 5. Overnight blend for the same event. Bleach for treatment dose $12 to $18 depending on pool size. Muriatic acid if not already on hand $10. Baking soda if alkalinity needed correction $3. Total product cost $15 to $31. One-time cost. Test kit reading and dose calculation 15 minutes. Days of unusable pool. 1. Clear by the following morning. The saving per cloudy water event, $40 to $55 in product, plus 2 to 4 fewer days of pool unavailability. For a pool experiencing 3 cloudy water events per season, which is common in reactive maintenance approaches, the savings run $120 to $165 per season in product alone, not counting the value of the pool days recovered. The prevention system that makes cloudy water rare rather than recurring saves those costs across every season going forward. 1. The borate buffer costs $18 to $24 to establish. The daily morning test habit costs $15 in test strips for the season. Both together prevent the $70 pool store visit from being needed while delivering a pool that is visibly clearer and more consistent than the reactive approach ever produced. What overnight clarity actually looks like, and what to do when it does not happen. 1. Most cloudy pool situations that are treated correctly with the overnight blend. pH corrected first, correct dose calculated from CYA level, bleach added at dusk, pump running continuously, pool brushed after addition, show significant visible improvement by dawn. Not always complete crystal clarity, but a dramatic shift from opaque cloudy to translucent hazy or fully clear depending on the severity of the initial cloudiness and the cleanliness of the filter. Light cloudiness, water that is hazy but the pool floor is visible, typically clears completely in 1 overnight treatment. 1. The oxidized particle load is low enough that the filter handles it within 8 hours of pump operation. Moderate cloudiness, water that is noticeably hazy, and the pool floor is only partially visible. Typically clears in 1 to 2 overnight treatments. Dawn after the first treatment shows significant improvement. If the pool is not fully clear by dawn, a second evening treatment with the same dose clears the remainder. Heavy cloudiness, water where the main drain is not visible from the surface, may require 2 to 3 overnight treatments. The organic load is large enough that 1 dose is consumed without fully clearing. Each treatment reduces the cloudiness further until the pool is clear and holding chlorine overnight near the treatment target. The sign that the blend is working even when the pool is not yet clear, free chlorine is being consumed overnight rather than holding. Active consumption means the chlorine is doing its job against the organic load. 1A dose that holds completely overnight with no visible improvement suggests the cloudiness may be a filtration or mineral issue rather than an organic load issue. In that case, check calcium hardness for precipitation above 400 ppm and check filter function before adding more chemistry. The pattern underneath the overnight result, every cloudy pool that has ever taken 4 to 7 days to clear with the pool store method was cleared by the same chemistry that clears it overnight. Sodium hypochlorite oxidizing the organic compounds causing cloudiness. 1. The difference between 4 days and 1 night is not the product. It is the pH it went into, the dose it was applied at, and the time of day it was added. Pool store shock into pH 8.0 water at 2 p.m., 25% effective, 50% UV destroyed, partial result after 2 doses over 4 days. Bleach into pH 7.2 water at dusk, close to 90% effective, 0 UV loss, full result by dawn. Same chemistry, different conditions. The blend is just the chemistry applied in the conditions where it works at its fastest rather than its slowest. 1. The cloudy water does not know which store the bleach came from. It responds to the hypochlorous acid. Hypochlorous acid formed in correctly pH water at dusk with the pump running through the night, clears it by morning. The grocery store has been 2 miles from your pool the entire time. The hardware store has the muriatic acid. The method has been available in chemistry textbooks for decades. Nobody with a financial stake in the pool store alternative was going to walk you through it. 1. If this blend cleared a cloudy pool overnight for you? Or if this is the first time someone has explained why the pool store method took 4 days for a problem that should have taken 1 night? Drop it in the comments. What was the pool's condition going in and what did it look like at dawn? That result shared honestly helps the next owner skip the 4-day pool store approach entirely. Every video on this channel works the same way. Real numbers, no sponsors, no pool store upsell. If that is useful to you, subscribe. This channel reads the water, not the marketing.